Are easily triggered or offended, please exercise caution. Because the hosts really don't care. Warning, this show is not for children. And not for coworkers either. And yes, that includes you, Cindy. And I don't care what your kid's selling. Please let me work and go away.
Cindy, it's not even fundraiser season. Kids are
out of school.
What are you doing? Nobody believes that's true.
As dads of kids with fundraising stuff, please don't just dismiss that stuff when your coworker. That was just a funny little joke we made, but yes, I mean,
please buy the candy bar so my kid can be.
Our band programs. Ashley is actually the head of the fundraising for our band program this year. So we've been trying to think of fun new ways to raise funds. So that was just a joke.
Coffee, dude. Coffee. That's what we did at my kid's school. Coffee. We had some gourmet coffee made up some I don't know. I don't know who makes coffee. Whatever. They bagged up some coffee and we sold it. It was way expensive. And I was like, look, this is better than candy bars.
We may talk about this with someone a little further today.
Mm-hmm.
We may have someone that may
we have a special guest, Deacon.
That may have some knowledge on fundraising for marching bands.
Yes. You can imagine, dear audience. Well, first of all, let me just say, welcome to the show. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. If this is the first time watching the show, I'm sorry. This is the way it goes. Like, subscribe, stay all the way to the end. I promise you'll be rewarded with a fantastic joke. I promise. Don't skip. You have to.
No, you won't.
All the way.
He's lying.
This is your two dads every morning. Me and Deacon meet. We drink coffee, or I don't know. Deacon does some hippie stuff.
I don't know. I had my hippie stuff this morning. I got coffee.
Whatever. Yeah.
Sugar-free Twix coffee mate.
What?
Ashley brought it home. She's like, look, Twix coffee mate. It's sugar-free. And I was like, sweet, all right, sugar-free. It doesn't taste like Twix.
You know, I'm going to be honest. I have never in my life given coffee mate a try. Like, not once.
That doesn't surprise me because you are the weirdest person on the face of the planet.
Not weird.
Yeah, you are too. You're pretty weird.
There was a story growing up my grandparents drank coffee. You know, like, look, my grandparents were born in the 1930s, so they were everything that you expect from a 1930s, grandparents from that era, right? And they drank coffee religiously. We always had coffee brewing in the house. There's a story told that when I was like an infant, I mean, being carried around, my grandmother would feed me coffee with a teaspoon.
That's what's wrong with you. That answers a lot of questions. Were you dropped a lot as a child?
Not that I know of. Although one time I did walk off a set of concrete stairs that there was no trailer house or no house in place. I walked off the end and fell right off and fell on my face.
Oh, I've got some horrific childhood injuries, man.
And another time when I was in high school, I fell right off the stage into the band pit.
Jeez. This is answering lots of questions. Let's introduce our person and then get on with the show.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning into the show.
Can I introduce our person today?
You can't.
I don't know how
the special guest.
We have a special guest on the show this morning, and I don't know how the special guest got. I don't know how we got to this point to have the special guest, but I love the special guest aspect.
I always want to have guests, but either people don't want to talk to us. It's fair.
I don't know why.
or they're not up at 6:30 in the morning.
Right. I completely understand that. But one of the people that is up at 6:30 in the morning is a longtime friend of ours. We met this person through a video game. Through the video game that we met through.
He was listening to the podcast like from probably the beginning. As far back as I can remember doing the podcast, I think I remember this fella being in the chat and being around.
And he was, and we had a kinship automatically because he was from Kentucky, and he's not far from me. I mean, it's only about 3 hours away, 2.5, 3 hours away or whatnot. But we had an automatic kinship immediately because that's like, oh, you're from Kentucky. I'm from Kentucky. We've got to be friends now. You know, we both like geeky
Let's be
stuff, both
friends.
in this game. We're friends now. All right, cool. We just become friends. So, and then he listens to the show. And we've talked about him several times on here. You're
Yeah,
going to throw
here
him in, everybody.
here-
Please welcome Sinister Minister to the show this morning. What's up, dude?
Hey, hopefully my
Look at
mic
that
works.
bow and
Yeah, your
Darth
mic
Vader
works.
on his back wall immediately. First thing I see, a bow and Darth Vader.
And you should know what that is, JJ.
That's
Is that the
Alamo.
Alamo?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, that's the Alamo.
Very nice. Very nice. What's up, dude?
Hey. It's 7:30 for me, so
Oh,
I'm
that's right.
sorry.
You've crossed the Eastern time, the line. That's right.
My county is Central Time. My town is Eastern Time, and it gets really confusing whenever we play it.
Ooh. I
Yeah,
bet that is kind of
What? No.
yeah,
What?
yeah.
the time zone goes through his county.
Does it ever get to be
Terrible.
confusing? Like when you're like, hey, honey, I'll be home at 5 o'clock. Is it 5 o'clock?
We just work
For her?
on Eastern.
For-
Yeah, we
for
just
you?
work
Oh.
on Eastern.
Does everybody over in like that's crossed the line? Does everybody go to Eastern and
Technically, we are across the line and we should be Central. I don't know when this change happened, 50s, 60s. They decided that the town would run on Eastern. And so for about 12 miles into the county, it's all Eastern.
gosh, I never thought about that situation of living close to the time zone on how it would affect. I'm over here, but I work over here, and I've got to be at work in an hour, but it's really I got to be working 5 minutes.
The schools are on Central. Our dispatch is on Central, but our PD runs Eastern. It gets really, really exciting.
Why? Why would they do that? It doesn't make any sense. Okay. You know, there's like, if you look down the globe, you ever look at a globe and they have the time zone marks on there, right?
Mhm.
And there's little places where it goes down the globe and it just goes straight line. And then there's it just kind of cuts over and goes around the country. Yeah.
Kentucky
But
is
but
jacked
you
up.
can't figure that out. Kentucky's just like, no, just straight line.
It was supposed to be on the other side of Louisville, but Louisville wanted to be on the same time zone as New York for business purposes, which I get. And so
okay.
it just jacked everything up.
Okay. Hey, we very rarely have a comment, but we got a comment over on Twitch. We got somebody started following us on Twitch and said that it's I don't know how to say Ryomin Sunka or whatever. Something happened to me while I was walking and I was on the second floor and there wasn't a star cover and fall on my leg. I'm not sure what that means, but I'm so glad you're watching on Twitch. I'm not sure what that means. Okay. All right, guys. So, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. We are so happy you're here. It's fun. It makes it more fun. It's fun to just kind of like wake up and talk about the news. But before we can talk about the news, Deacon's got to talk about music.
Oh, I've got to. All right. So I've got something extra special in music today because we lost the Queen of Rock and Roll yesterday, JJ.
Oh,
Tina Turner was always one of my favorite singers. Ashley is a big music person. That was one thing that we have in common, that we really get along. And I really respect her opinion on music. And we talk about female voices all the time. And she does not like Tina Turner as much as I do. I've always loved Tina Turner. And when she passed away, she sent it to me. She's like, oh, I know you're going to be upset about this. I love Tina Turner. So I'm skipping through the duos today. Just to add some
in honor of Tina
Turner passing. We have got, did I put it up here? I haven't even put it on the, I haven't even put it on our little, graphics yet.
The little comic thing.
Yeah, I didn't know. We were talking. I didn't have a chance to. So the two songs, if you will go to our Discord server and our playlist, We Don't Need Another Hero. Do you remember that song, JJ, from Mad Max?
Oh yeah,
Thunderdome.
Yeah.
I was gonna say my strongest memory of Tina Turner, and which you may find apocryphal, is Mad Max, because
That's perfect.
that was an amazing movie, and she was just like big hair and
big earrings.
And was threatening. It was a woman like in a leotard, and there's like people riding around with guns on cars and crazy stuff, and somehow she was, and it was like a giant with a little person on his head, and she was still very, very intimidating. So I mean,
Man,
like,
Tina Turner she was beautiful, sexy, strong. She was just all, I mean, I really loved her. I admired her. And if you hear her story, with how she went through in the music business and how she
I
was
really
taken
don't know.
advantage of and whatnot. I mean, yeah, it's a pretty awful story if you don't know some of the stuff that she went through. And so, I mean, it really talks about her perseverance. But I've always admired Tina Turner. I've always thought that she was just so beautiful, and I was very upset that she passed away. So yeah, the songs, even though I don't have the graphic up here, the songs are "I Don't Need Another Hero" and "Private Dancer." I added "Private Dancer." I was going to do "Simply the Best." I was trying to think of some that maybe JJ would recognize, but. Tina Turner, Queen of Rock and Roll, passed away yesterday, 83 years old. She lived in Sweden. She had been sick. She had some sort of illness, but her family didn't elaborate or anything like that. So I've always liked Tina Turner. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. So I know I don't know where JJ went. He must have went to get some coffee, and I don't know what he's got lined up to start with. I know he wants to talk about here it is, and get the title card, and I know that you'll definitely want to talk about this story since every media outlet is talking.
Oh my gosh, it's like, okay. So today is May 25th, 2023. Today's title: DeSantis launches the Prez campaign. Oh, wacky DeSantis. Wacky
Hey, do you
DeSantis.
know what today is? Both of you should know that this is a geek holiday today.
Is it really?
Do you know what May 25th is?
No.
May 25th, 1977, JJ. Does that date ring a bell? 46 years ago today, Star Wars came out.
It came out on May the 4th.
May the 27th.
Did it really?
Or May 25th, I mean. Yeah, May 25th.
I thought it came out on May the 4th. Why do we say May the 4th all the time?
May the force be with you. May the 4th be with you.
I gotta say, 46 years ago, George Lucas really should have launched it like 3 weeks earlier.
He didn't.
They should have.
He thought it was going to flop.
Yeah, he thought it was going to flop.
All right.
So yeah, so it didn't work out for DeSantis, huh? Is that what you're saying? Next story. Okay, next.
No. Okay, so let me find the thing. So DeSantis, Governor DeSantis, has launched his presidential campaign yesterday, and of course, there's a lot of takes on this. First of all, he did something that nobody's ever done before. Mm-hmm. He launched his campaign on Twitter Spaces. Now, Deke, I'm sure you hang out in Twitter Spaces all the time.
I'm there right now.
Are you really?
No, not really.
I don't believe you. So Twitter Space. So like, what are Twitter Spaces? Twitter Spaces are like a bigger phone call than this is, Deke. Twitter Spaces are Twitter Spaces are an audio channel where hundreds of thousands of people are literally on the same phone call, and the moderators or the people running the space, 1, 2, 3, 4, however many people, will have the hot mic button or a push to talk button, and they can literally have a conversation in front of a million people easily. It possibly could go up a little more than that, unless they all join at exactly the same time. If hundreds of thousands of people join at exactly the same time, stuff breaks. And that's what happens. So, and as a consequence, it seems that major media is reporting this as a major tech stumble for DeSantis. The fact that hundreds of thousands of people joined his space to launch his presidential campaign at the same moment, overwhelming Twitter's capacity to onboard listeners. And
that's kind of a good sign, I would think.
Yeah, wouldn't you think so? So it's being reported as I don't know, glitch, a tech faux pas. Of course, Donald Trump had to immediately jump on and bag on DeSantis for flopping. I think he called it disaster instead of disaster. So it's fun. So DeSantis has been teasing for like 6 months that he's gonna I don't. My door just closed over there. He's been teasing us for 6 months and he's going to join, denying that he's running, and yet he's launching right now. So, do you have any thoughts about DeSantis at all? Like, is this the candidate for you, Deke, or do you need to be sold some more? Is there a stink bug crawling up your nose? You okay?
Me? Yeah. I went to talk after that song. I was just gonna say, like, I had like 6 seconds. I was gonna back sell Tom T. Hall. And I went to say my first word, and saliva got thrown up in my throat. And I was like,
choke.
And I started choking in the middle of my sentence. So that's what I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. DeSantis. Is DeSantis the guy? And feel free to jump in if you have anything to say. And should we call you sinister? Should we?
That's fine. I'm anything but sinister, but that's fine.
I mean, you JJ, you know how I feel about this. I don't think that I think that Trump is taken away from somebody else like DeSantis or whoever else that could actually do something for the country instead of. I'm just going to recap real quick. I ain't going to go to it. I think Trump is has gotten to the point now to where nothing will ever be done if he's president, because no one will even try to work with him. It's either you hate him or you love him, and that's it. And that what good is that for everybody? Just use him as a figurehead now, as a spokesperson, as a logo. Use him as a logo and get somebody else in there that can actually do something that other people will actually look at and actually may listen to. And is DeSantis that person? I don't know. He's getting to the point to where people are going, la 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 la, I'm not listening to you.
Yeah, right. A little bit.
So so I mean, what's the answer?
So here's what I kind of think about this whole thing. First of all, it's primary season is open, and candidates are going to start coming out and start taking jabs at each other, and then I don't know when the first debates are going to be, but we're going to see these guys like in the media taking jabs at each other, and that's fine, that's fair. I kind of have these couple feelings about this. One, it seems like DeSantis has been a very competent governor in Florida. Florida didn't have the lockdowns like everywhere else. Florida had, as far as I know, it gave as much respect to liberty and freedom as possible.
I can take the exact same things you're saying and spin it completely different on the other side to make him look like the worst guy in the world because he didn't have as many lockdowns, because he's going after Disney and doing all this. I mean, you can spin that story like it's being.
I mean, it depends on your perspective for sure. But when in a field of uncertainty, like which is what COVID was, when nobody knows anything, then I think I've come to the position that like I would rather everybody just default on freedom and personal responsibility and take your risks than government locking everybody up and telling everybody what to do and wearing like 9 masks and praising CDC officials. So I feel like maybe he didn't protect everybody. I don't know, but I don't think you can know. And with everything else, I'd rather just everybody just be free and take your chances, just like you do every other day of the week. Now, Trump. I agree with you. That if Trump is elected, it's not going to be like, oh, everybody's going to work with Trump. But I think you have this kind of like idea that there is a possible reality where people in Washington are going to work together.
I don't think there's that idea at all.
Right. So
there is the possibility of that idea if you put someone in there that is not universally hated. Okay.
Yeah.
You put someone in there that's universally hated, you're not even going to make a crack in that. Maybe I'll
Right.
listen to him. But you put somebody in there that's, I don't agree with this guy, but I'll at least listen to him maybe. As
So
opposed to, I'm not listening to you at all, sir. That's
I
all I'm getting at, is if we put
no.
somebody in there, and that's why I said I don't think DeSantis is that person either. He's getting to that point to where people are putting up their brick walls over their freaking ears and they're not listening to a word he's saying. They've just been told, bad man, bad man.
Right.
Don't you think that happens though with both parties?
Oh yeah.
Automatically Republicans. Automatically.
Yes,
Democrats.
absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm looking for the
Okay.
alternative.
Do you guys think it's possible? I mean, like realistically, so there's two kind of like possible futures. There's a possible future in some way where some candidate comes together and they can be the bilateral gap between both aisles and we can have a productive country.
I think it's possible. Will it happen? No.
I don't think this is the season for that. I think that's possible, but I don't think this is the season. This is the season that the rest of America finally figured out that the FBI is lying to you. It's trying to run Twitter. It's trying to run campaigns. It's not the entire monolithic organization, but there are bad people in Washington that are trying to run stuff, and we need somebody to fire them.
You say Washington like it's all in Washington, but it's not. Because I'm sitting here listening to this and thinking, okay, if we did have this mythical person JJ's talking about where he can work with both sides, is that really what some of the major corporations in this country want? Is that really what like weapons makers and tank makers want? Is that what the pharmaceutical companies want?
You're right.
They don't want everyone working together. I want to be able to manipulate this side and this side to get what I want, because we live and talk every day in this fantasy world that the government officials are really the ones that are running this country. And I do not believe that.
Right.
Okay. They do not run the country.
They may not run the country, but they are.
CEOs have the final say on everything that goes, because if this CEO if the pharmaceutical CEO doesn't want this bill passed, that bill's not getting passed. Period. I don't care how many protesters and we want Bill 484.
Well, it's not that there's one dimension of power. Okay. And that one dimension of power is not government, but there's multiple dimensions of power.
Right.
There's multiple dimensions of power. The problem is that there's some bad people that have found how to leverage the powers that they have and like radically violate law, just lie to us constantly. So
you're right. That's exactly how I worded it to a friend of mine a decade ago when we were talking about it. It was when they were going through the Confederacy stuff in America and the South and the battle flag and all that crap. And we were having a conversation. He was Chinese born and came to Canada when he was like 2 years old. He'd never been to the United States. And I was telling, we were talking about the United States, and he said the same thing that I said. Basically, I told him, I said, basically, this country was founded on some wonderful principles. And before the ink was dry, after they signed it, there was some son of a bitches trying to figure out how to screw that system, and we've had almost 300 years of people perfecting the art of screwing our system.
So we're not in disagreement on that. There's multiple dimensions of power, and there's multiple dimensions of people taking advantage of whatever systems there are. Here's the thing: Target and Anheuser-Busch and all these other companies are demonstrating that the people, consumers, have the ability to punish bad corporations. Okay, we can't do that.
This to me is mind-blowing to me. When we were talking about these, because I really wasn't this Target story the past 2 days. I've just been poo-pooing it away. You've saw me. I've just been.
I know.
I read the story last night where they're like, "Oh, we maybe need to stop doing this," and it's blowing my mind, because For decades in this country, corporations didn't care about the consumers. They said they cared about you, but that
Right.
was an illusion. You know, they really didn't care about you. And now it's like we've done enough pushback on this with the Budweiser.
They're taking it. They're
that
taking
like,
you seriously.
Oh crap! We need to take
Yeah.
this seriously now a little bit.
I mean,
I think it's
Budweiser.
great.
Some reports are that Budweiser's lost like 30% of the market.
Billions.
That's crazy. Yeah, and okay, and Target obviously major. We did a story yesterday about Target having an emergency meeting, and some stores they reduced the footprint. I think some of the stores there have completely removed all of the LGBT stuff. I think I saw a story about that. I don't know. They're going to change regionally, but
Yeah, it's probably where the Target is located.
So, okay, so it is now today in evidence that the people can punish corporations. But you know, like it depends on the corporation, right? Obviously, these are like retail consumer facing corporations, not BlackRock or you know these mega monoliths that are behind all the scenes. You can't really punish them in the same way. But how do you punish corrupt government officials? How do you punish when 2 or 3 or 5 like officers in a Syracuse office just lie about stuff, and then the entire chain just takes it and runs with it? And you know, how do we punish that? So I agree with you. Donald Trump is not the guy that's going to be able to pull people together necessarily to work on stuff in a bilateral way, but he might be the guy that will fire people. On the other hand, DeSantis has actually fired a Soros DA for, you know, being one of these bad prosecutors. So I don't know. So we have a lot. So we have throughout this political season, we're gonna have to figure out like which of these guys. You know, they're not the only two running. You have Tim Scott. He just entered the race. Honestly, my impression is, Tim Scott's a nice guy. He can't win. I don't think he can win. I don't think he has the he's doing this Made in America kind of tour, but I don't know that he has the gravitas. He so far hasn't gotten the national attention necessary. DeSantis has not been running for president for 6 months, and he has like clearly got like the second place kind of attention. I don't know. We're going to see. And then there's Vivek Ramaswamy, and seems like a smart guy. My personal opinion is that he can't win the Republican primary.
Has Kanye announced yet?
Kanye's got a new line of tape-based underwear thong that he's having his wife run around in. That's the only announcement I've seen from Kanye. All right, let's get to some other stories. So the Twitter Spaces thing kind of launched as a snafu, but
the Twitter thing I think is really interesting because, you know, when Musk took over, everybody's like, "Oh, Twitter's dead, it's gone." Everybody's leaving Twitter, and apparently
that's what they say.
Yes, they had a huge technical malfunction, but the fact that there was enough people online to cause a huge meltdown. Now I've deleted Twitter off of my phone. I still have my accounts. Online. I got so tired of Twitter. So I don't know. Yeah. Good luck, Twitter. You're doing great.
You know, it's being billed recently as a right wing. Twitter is now a right wing. I saw the headline yesterday. It's called like a right wing media. It's being called the right wing media. It's not right wing media.
No.
Yeah. So is Twitter actually right now in this kind of moment in time the place to be at the center of the American stage? Where is that place? If it's not Twitter, it is not TV anymore, right? The center of the American stage used to be run ads on TV. That would be effective. That would be a way to communicate with people. And if it's not Twitter, I mean, where is it? Is it TikTok? Is it some other social media? It's not radio. I don't know where you go to capture the largest audience.
It's not radio anymore.
I mean, like radio. I mean, we've talked before. Radio is great for local, for, you know, regional and local.
It's dying. It's dying for local. It
Yeah.
really is. I have had to come up with some off the wall stuff to try to keep our listeners and our advertisers with radio that we've gone down so much that one of the things that I'm doing is, and I had to convince my radio people to let me do this. And this, you'll be like, you had to convince them, but I had to convince them to break our stop sets. You know, when radio would take a break and play commercials, they would normally be 3 to 4 minutes of commercials, like the TV. You know, you would watch it, you go into a commercial break, it would be about a 3 to 4 minutes of commercials in the whole set. And I have begged them, and I finally got it down to 2 minutes at the max. I've got like 90 seconds commercials, but I've got an extra one. I've added an extra one because I've told them, when I'm watching streaming shows and Roku and Pluto and stuff like that, Freevee, that's got commercials, I don't mind the commercials when that little timer comes up there and says 90 seconds or, 120 seconds. I don't mind that. I'm like, okay, 120 seconds, that's not bad. I don't have to sit here for 4 freaking minutes, like you used to have to do. So I've cut down on mine and even to the point to cutting down the commercials from 30 seconds down to 15 seconds and stuff, because you watch, I do a lot of AI art on my phone with this app, and you have to watch ads to get it because I don't pay for it. And the commercials now are 5 seconds long, 6 seconds long. So you can watch like 4 of them. 4 commercials will come up, boom, 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 boom. And I thought that's pretty ingenious. That's where we're going to. So local radio is not the place. I don't think local television is the place to get it anymore. I don't think Facebook is the place. Twitter's not. There's not.
I mean, don't we all agree that Facebook is now for old? I mean, it has been for a long time, but it's like, when's the last time you went to Facebook?
I haven't had a Facebook account in
we're old.
over a decade. I haven't had an account. So yeah.
Yeah.
My wife was telling me yesterday that the attention span for I'm going to butcher this now. I did listen. If she's listening, babe, I was listening to you.
Hey, by the way, thanks for watching and hit like and subscribe.
Oh, JJ, stop.
So she was telling me that before COVID, the average attention span of a teenager was like 2 minutes. You've got 2 minutes and then it's gone. Since COVID, it's under 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah, I would imagine it's under 30 seconds.
I mean, when you mentioned the ad being up for 120 seconds, I hoped what you were going to say after that was, instead of I can't listen to something for 2 minutes, 120 seconds I can do. It's just that nuance there. I mean, it's the exact
that's true.
thing.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. But yeah,
have you guys seen on, like, if you watch TV like on a Roku or a Freevee or a Tubi or something like that, and they actually have ads, and they have a little corner timer where it's like, oh, there's ads for another 90
JJ wasn't
seconds.
listening to me a minute ago, was he?
No.
No, he wasn't.
I'm sorry.
That's what I was saying about radio. Is like when we watch that and that comes up like that, it doesn't make me it makes me, okay, 90 seconds, that's fine. I can sit there. So I've tried to incorporate that into my radio. But I don't tell you, oh, we'll be back in 90 seconds. I just say, I've tried to tone the breaks down so that hopefully the people that listen will know that, there's only going to be, he'll be right back to music here in just a second.
Well, I mean,
sister, my kids, my oldest just turned 18. I've got 2 15-year-old boys, a 13-year-old, an 11-year-old, and I really pay attention to them on how they notice advertisements and stuff like it, because that's been my job for 30 years, is selling your company. You come to me, how are you going to sell me on the radio? And it's my job to figure out how to sell you and keep people's attention, because nobody listens to ads. The only people that listen to ads on the radio are people like me that make the ads. Okay, I'm the one that turns up the ads. I turn down the music. I want to hear the radio guy talk. I don't want to hear the music. I hear the music all the time, so I'm the only one. So that's what I used to joke about. I was like, I make my commercials for other DJs so they won't make fun of me and they don't have anything to, but how do I keep your attention? So over the years, I've done a couple of things. A decade ago, 15 years ago, I would play 15 seconds of a music bed in the background and then I would change the music bed entirely in the background so that you're listening to me pop in and doing like this, and then the commercial changes halfway through, but I'm still giving you the same information, but it feels like there's a change, and I'm keeping your attention. I'm doing this basically.
Clever.
So that's what I did 10, 15 years ago. I would change, but that don't work anymore because I'd have to change the music bed like 3 freaking times anymore because my kids are like 5 seconds, 10 seconds at the max. And Deacon got mad at me the other day because he was sitting there looking at his phone, and I was talking to him, and he looked down and he looked at his phone. It's funny at beep, and he said, I said, "Are you listening to me?" "Yeah, I'm listening to you, Dad." Blah blah blah. And he got so mad at me and whatnot. So.
We definitely have like it's not just attention span that has shrunk in the last couple of years, but like there are a number of stories that I've seen that our students' performance in school has dropped. It's getting worse. I think there was a story I read a couple of days ago that because of COVID, because of schooling remotely or whatever, students today are like 6 months behind where they're supposed to be in their own education. So in terms of reading, math, etc. And then on top of that, you have, the for some reason, de-emphasis on core education like reading, writing, mathematics, and a lot of emphasis on like identity politics, which is driven by special interest organizations that are putting educational materials into schools and having them folded into school books and things like that. So, I mean, I don't know if it's we, but if the problem exists and we don't solve it, it is we. We are, as a country, are having a huge a huge issue where we are not preparing our kids for the best possible future because we have all these other competing agendas. And if we don't change that, then by neglect, we are responsible for our kids being set up to fail in their lives. And it's one of the reasons that we talk about a lot of this stuff so much. I mean, I know we goof and make jokes or whatever, but I'm very serious about, like, I want my kids to have a better chance than even I had. And I was fine. I went to public school. Everything was fine. And, I turned out all right, but I want my kids to be better than that. I want them to flourish. Okay. I want to switch up topics. I was going to talk about this story about the GOP chair being speechless after an FBI report. I started watching the hearing for this senior FBI official. Apparently, there was a hearing yesterday or the day before, and if you guys, I'm sure you guys have, but for people that haven't, if you haven't ever watched hearings at a committee hearing, it can be kind of slow and boring. But a bunch of people will sit at in the hearing meeting, and then there'll be witnesses, and they'll take turns giving questions and giving answers. Usually, one side or the other will be rather aggressive about trying to get the person to answer a question that in a way that is politically beneficial, so they can get some sound bites, things like that. But during the course of this committee hearing, a Republican lawmaker denounced a senior FBI official during a hearing after she said she had not read Special Counsel John Durham's report on the agency's investigation into Trump and alleged Russia ties, aka Russiagate. So the John Durham report came out recently. This senior FBI official goes before the committee hearing and says, "Oh, I haven't read the report." Okay, so that's the kind of thing I'm just curious about. Like, Deacon, you didn't read the report, right? Like, I don't expect you read a 300-page FBI report by John Durham, but I read it. I read it, and I read it in like an hour.
300 pages.
Yeah, it's 300 pages.
And you read it in an hour.
Yeah, I mean, look, you can skim through it. No, you can skim through it. There's a lot of footnotes. There's section headers. You can jump right to the stuff that's interesting. But I went through it. I read it. I read about the paragraph 5 stuff. I read about the Clinton. Basically the senior officials at FBI were briefed that, hey, like briefed on the inside. I'm assuming because I don't work at the FBI or anything like that. On the inside, they were like, "Hey, there's this thing up from the Syracuse office. It looks bogus. It looks like it's from the Clinton administration." And instead of killing it, they just kept running the investigation. So, and that's all in the report. So, I don't know, but anyway, a Republican was speechless that I guess I can find the button, that a senior FBI official. And here's the thing: as incendiary as this is, right? As demonstrative that like our federal bureaucrats, they don't really care about answering to Congress very much. This will get no traction. This will just get, it's on the headline today. It will get completely washed out that an FBI official is not even accountable for the John Durham report, which we spent like 4 years and millions of dollars generating. So I just wanted to mention that. I don't know if there's any comments about that, but and then I have something even worse.
No, I'm
no, that's okay. I just wanted to
point that out. Yeah.
Not surprised. Nobody's surprised. Okay. This will surprise you. Because I had no idea.
It's my surprised face. Look, I've already got it on.
Almo says Mexico is hosting 700 Cuban slave doctors.
What?
Slave doctors. Yeah. So apparently Cuba, communist Cuba, is in the business of selling doctors to other countries. Mexican leftist President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador announced on Tuesday that his country had imported 700 Cuban slave doctors who are now active in Mexican hospitals.
Well, you need doctors, JJ. What are you going to do?
I get.
I mean, that's
where's all the outrage about, slavery in the world today?
It's human.
We're only outraged about slavery if it happens more than 200 years ago.
Oh, so like it has to go bad and go rancid before you make a stink about it?
No one cares about the fact that the slave trade is going on now with our children in this country, that our children get taken for sexual slave trade all the time right now. Nothing is said about that because I personally believe the president of the United States is in on this shit and he's covering all this fucking shit up because he likes to sniff the little boys and girls. But that's just me.
What I think is interesting here is the way that the title is even just worded. They're hosting 700 Cuban slave doctors.
Is that what it said?
Yeah.
It says
hosting. It says right here. Almo says Mexico.
That just sounds so
hosting.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, they're here for vacation.
Yeah. We're giving them free Cubans and whatever else.
The newly announced number adds another 90 to the total of 610 Cuban slave doctors, the Mexican Social Security Institute reported in March. Mexico is importing the forced labor as part of an agreement signed in 2022 between Mexico's IMSS and Communist Castro regime's Cuban Medical Services Marketer, which handles the slave doctor trade. Selling doctors as forced labor to allied poor countries is $1 billion industry for Cuba. This is nuts. This is crazy.
Here's my question, because I did not read this story. I did see it. Are these individuals, did they barter for their degrees? Like, hey, I will work, I will do what you need me to do if you will pay for me to get the degree.
Is that what the word slave means? That it's like
I don't know what the word host means.
Yeah. That's a good point. That very well could be what they're using that word. And then, these doctors are all. It's like credit card companies when people buy your credit. It's the same thing. All right. So these doctors have got one. I fund you two to go through medical school, and you pay me back. So. Right. Now this hospital over here needs 2 doctors. You 2 guys are going over here. You work for me. You're going over here to do this. Oh, okay. So you're going over here to do this.
You're describing like a contractual relationship, right? Like, we made a deal, or even
in a civilized society, that would be a contractual relationship, and everybody would be happy. But Yeah, it's along those same lines, but I just don't think that all the whole parties are happy with the,
Yeah.
it's
Okay,
probably
so
more of a we'll help
the
you.
only, I mean, first of all, none of us have ever heard of this before, but the only statements we have are what the doctors are saying that we're in
No,
this,
but
right?
this sounds completely feasible, like some B movie that I would watch that took place. It's got Jason Statham in it, trying to
Or
stop
Bruce
this.
Campbell. Or
Yeah,
Bruce Campbell.
Planet of the
Bruce
Slave
Campbell's in
Doctors.
this. Yeah, absolutely. They're trying to stop the slave doctor trade. I would watch this movie.
Doctors and other health workers who have escaped the human trafficking situation say they often had to falsify medical statistics, were forced to pressure patients into adopting communist ideology, and had their passports confiscated to prevent escape. Defecting doctors are banned from returning to Cuba for 8 years, which means relinquishing uh, the seeing of childhoods of their children. Left at home during their medical missions. Oh, so they're sent on these are medical missions from their perspective.
Missions, hosting.
Yeah,
We're using a lot of real fluffy words here.
yeah, right. Wow,
And then we use a
I
word
don't
like
know.
slave in the same sentence, in the same article.
I mean, it's definitely an incendiary description, right? But this is consistent with kind of what you expect with an authoritarian type of regime, where, like, it's the equivalent of the doctors being enlisted into the army and soldiers being deployed, except it's not an army; it's like medical services. Well, that's interesting.
That's a very loose interpretation, but you're right.
I mean, that's kind of like, I can't think of another equivalent thing that we.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Slave doctors. It's crazy. Okay. All right, we got a few minutes left.
Yeah. I got a cool story. We'll save that one to the end. I'll save that one to the very end.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Here, let's talk about this for a
story's
second.
Mine at the end. So
I know which one is yours. I know which one you want. Ice Cube has slammed artificial intelligence as evil and demonic.
Oh, Cube, I love you. No,
artificial AI is evil and demonic. Meanwhile, Ice Cube is mean mugging in this photo right here.
Yeah.
Dude, let me tell you, I came up with. I'm not going to tell you everything about it. I'm just going to tell you the premise. I came up with the other day, sitting here at the radio station, an idea for a series of children's books. And so I started plugging in all my ideas into AI, and the AI has come up with 5 different children's books for me. I have been using AI art to generate the artwork for these books. I have told 4 people, including my children and my adult child, and they all are like, that's brilliant. Kids would buy that. Parents would buy that for kids.
Yeah. Really?
And I'm having AI help me completely.
You gotta check. AI. I think you might not be able to copyright them though, but you might be able to make them and sell them.
I can make them and sell them. I don't care if people.
But you may not be able to copyright.
I try to use AI as a research assistant. You all know I'm a minister in a small town of 1,000.
Yeah.
And I wear tons of hats. Some of them you all know about. So I use AI to help as a research assistant, just to get stuff done, to pull stuff up. AI isn't horrible. Sure, there are bad things, but what's funny about this Ice Cube story is it's doing the same thing he was doing. This is like hypocrisy here.
Yeah, that's what people are kind of calling out Ice Cube for. They're like, oh, Ice Cube doesn't like AI because it's it's generating new stuff based on old stuff. So the thing that he said is
what did Cube say?
His actual quote is, this is from Twitter. So he posted a tweet. I think AI is demonic. I think there's going to be a backlash because of AI. I think people are going to want things organic and not artificial. To which someone replied that Ice Cube, a musician who became famous for rapping over samples, says AI is demonic.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. That's how hip hop started.
Okay, so this is his. Shoot! I lost my spot. This is his retort. This is his retort, and this is the last word on this matter. Oh my God! I did it again.
I can read it. Samples are
Sam-
approved or denied by the song owners. Totally different than taking a dead artist and making a new song they never approved or saying things like that they may not agree with. That's evil and demonic to me. It's not evil and demonic because it's not the person saying. And it is the same thing because you were rapping over and got your ideas over listening to this beat that someone else did.
And they're not always approved.
You're exactly right.
I mean, Biggie and Tupac are not approving jack shit, right? They're dead. And that's,
no, they're not.
And that's,
but
Tupac's alive.
Yeah, Tupac's alive. He's living on an island with Elvis. Listen, what he's getting at though is that like they're using this AI to make new songs. There is a fake Drake song out. All right, they're calling it fake Drake. Okay, but these people are listening to this. They're having reaction videos to this fake Drake song, and they're like, oh my God, I like this better than the real Drake song. The fake Drake song is getting millions and millions and millions of downloads and hits. They took Kurt Cobain and his AI voice and made him sing Black Hole Sun by Soundgarden. Now, other than him doing a little vibrato in there, because Kurt never did, he didn't do that crap. Other than that, it sounds like Kurt Cobain singing Black Hole Sun. So that opened up, me and my brother, who's a musician, had this whole conversation the other night about this. The Drake's music industry, the music company that owns his, took that stuff off. They had it taken down. And they're like, wait a minute, you don't own fake Drake's voice.
Right.
All right.
You're immediately making me think, wait, if they can't copyright a fake voice of a
because
person, we could play it on the show.
If I did a perfect impersonation of Al Pacino, he can't sue me.
Right.
For being like, hoo-ah, yeah, he couldn't sue me for doing that because it's an impersonation. That's why I was telling my my general manager, I'm like, we can take this AI and get it to do our little blah, 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 the best country music around. And I said, and I can have it be Sam Elliott and going, the best country music in the Lakes area. I said, and Sam Elliott can't sue me, and I won't have to pay $5,000, a line for Sam Elliott to do my radio station. I could do it for $20 a month. So where does that line? That's what I think Ice Cube's getting at when he's just using the demonic and whatnot, because that's how he talks.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I think that's his point, that the original artist, no longer becomes a valuable asset when you can just have like the machine generate in his voice.
Looking forward in 100 years, it's going to be.
I don't even think it's going to take 100 years.
You're right. It probably is not going to take 100 years. There's going to be 70% AI generated music that you listen to all the time. And then the stuff that is actually produced by a person, those will be the people that I think you're going to see the music industry change in the next 50, 60, 70 years.
You mean not survive?
What music industry can be left? Books being created via AI. Jordan Peterson was talking about this. Someone had sent me a link. He had like a 13th rule made or something like that. You have the deep fake Tom Cruise and the deep fake Barack Obama videos that are out there that are absolutely terrifyingly amazing. Can I say demonic? Yeah, sure. We'll quote Ice-T. Or Ice Cube rather, and hopefully I won't get in trouble for that. But it's scary what it can do.
I mean, those kind of the potential for misabuse is so huge. Okay, so we're gonna have in short order. We already have deepfake Tom Cruise, which those videos are kind of like, oh, that's cute.
I'm so glad that we took AI and the first thing that we did was make deep fake Tom Cruise. You don't know how glad I am the society that we can
it's amazing. We're gonna
Kentucky boy
skills for
we're gonna be able to have Tom Cruise movies for a century, and he's gonna be like at his perfect
Mission
age.
Impossible 38.
Yeah, we're never. So they've been saying that, you know, somebody alive today is going to be able to be immortal. You know, you're going to be able to live long enough. They've been saying that for years. It's happening. We're never going to lose Tom Cruise. He's always going to be with us. It's going to be amazing.
Yay.
But it's not just the
like, I don't know if you can see it, but I'm
I can see you. I don't think it's just the music industry. In fact, I'd be surprised if the music industry can survive as an industry when you don't need artists. You don't need artists. You just need to go, hey, make me a banging jam. Oh, I like this. Whatever. But it won't just be
what I'm
music
getting at.
either.
That's what I'm getting at is the music industry will start doing that, and there will be people that will pick up on that because they realize that it's cheaper for them. But that's where in 30 or 40, 50 years or something like that, you're going to have these musicians that come up again. It's going to be a whole new, like Robert Johnson again. You know, it's going to be a whole new washover of that guy plays guitar. He sings on his own. Wow, that guy plays guitar. We don't know very many people that play guitar anymore. That's pretty awesome. You know, right now everybody plays guitar, but in 50 years they won't because you won't need to.
Right. So nobody will know how.
I can play an electric guitar solo and
live performances are the only thing that AI can't replace. You can't replace a person actually playing an instrument on stage.
No. There was a live performance of, wasn't it Michael Jackson? They did a hologram performance.
Yeah, they did a hologram performance.
Okay, so that's like a big venue, projector screens. I'm thinking like
screens. No, you're talking about mist on stage or what? No, they got the hologram technology to do that stuff now. It looks real, dude. Have you not seen that crap?
Yeah,
and that was like 10 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
It's not just music though either, and it's not just books, it's not just radio, it's not audiobooks. I mean, it will be in very short order. You will be able to make your own TV shows. You'll be able to make your own movies, and once you can do that, once you can make your own movies, just type. Oh, I want an awesome action movie. It's good popcorn fun or whatever. Then what purpose is there to have a movie industry or a TV industry? Why do you need all that overhead when you can just
make your own? You just don't see it because you're not on it and you don't have kids that are old enough, but it's already that way. Children do not watch television. Right. Alex comes in there at night with me and Ashley, and he laughs because he's like, you old people are weird because me and Ashley will sit there and watch game shows on the Game Show Network. And he's like, I'll watch game shows. And I've been watching Night Court, old Night Court episodes. So Ashley and we watch Night Court. And he's like, I don't get y'all. Why do y'all? Because they watch videos, TikTok and YouTube these 20, 30, 2-minute videos. 20-second, 30-second, and my son Deacon will turn on somebody playing a video game and it's just somebody playing a freaking video game, and then he sits there and watches it for an hour, and I
honestly have never been able to get this.
So that the TV business is already. That's why I honestly believe you get 2 seasons and they dump it. You know, it's because we're not getting enough. Let's go.
Well,
we gotta move something else.
We're seeing. I mean, maybe it's a good thing, but we are going to see the complete collapse of all entertainment industry.
But if it can give me a second season to Firefly, the original cast, I'm for it.
All right.
I'll watch every one of them.
There's enormous upsides.
There are.
No, you can't. Everybody.
AI is the only way you would ever see Shepard Brook again.
Get Shepard
because
Brook
he died
back.
like 5 years ago.
Yeah, he died.
So
and we never got the answers to him. So.
Yeah, he said, you're never hearing it. I don't have to tell you. I'm not telling you anything. All right. Let's stop monkeying around and get to our last story, Deacon.
Look at this one. And this one is from, this is a Kentucky story for my Kentucky homie here today. This was a orangutan in Louisville.
Adorable.
Watch this.
Oh, she wants a baby?
3-month-old.
Oh, that is so cute.
Isn't that cool?
Oh, she wants
the orangutan wanted to see the baby.
You know what I thought of?
Let's turn the audio down. Yeah. What's up? What'd you think of?
We've got that locked in a cage, man.
I actually looked at it from the other side. I wonder if that orangutan thinks we're the ones that are locked in the cage. Because that orangutan looks so happy and peaceful in that moment.
Well, and then when I had that initial thought, man, we locked it in a cage. Look how intelligent that thing is. I mean, they are just as intelligent, and especially orangutans. But and then I thought, well, maybe it's got a better life in there than it would out in the. And maybe, but then I look. Am I trying to justify myself?
Well, what makes it better?
It doesn't have to worry. It never has to worry about predators.
Right.
It always has food.
But is that better?
I know. That's
do
what
you
I'm
want to live a long life without adventure or
I know.
learning how to do stuff?
Yeah. Am I just trying to pacify myself?
Yeah, I don't have an answer on that.
I don't know. I don't think they have many predators wherever they're from. That's
but still, I'm an animal person. That's my. I hope, and Ashley knows this. I've said this so many times when I'll do something. I hope that's my one saving grace. I hope that St. Peter, if I'm up there, St. Peter's like, man, Andy, let me tell you what, you were nice to all the animals though. So you did treat all the animals with respect and love. So I've got to give you a couple more, but you laughed at a lot of jokes that you really shouldn't have laughed.
I am thankful for the grace that we get through Christ, man. It just,
that's
what I depend on. And be nice to animals.
You see, you're lucky. Well, anyway. I think it's cute. But if that glass wasn't there, you wouldn't think it's cute. Because
it might not be. I mean, why do we automatically think that the only reason they act hostile and mean is because we showed them that they're to be
You ever seen that story about that woman who had a pet chimpanzee?
Yeah, that was also Kentucky, wasn't it?
Until it took her face off.
What
was that?
What happened with that chimpanzee? Why did it act like that?
I don't know.
There's a chimpanzee, not an orangutan.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we don't know. I mean, that thing might have been.
That is very cute right there. But I wouldn't have my kid anywhere near it if that glass wasn't there. Also,
well, I wouldn't either. I'm not saying that.
Now, and that orangutan has a good life. It's got medical care. It's going to be like fed. It's never going to want for anything. It is not free. It is not free. And maybe that's not worth it. Maybe being free is more valuable than being safe.
Would you be okay being in an alien zoo?
No, of course not. I want to be free.
They would have a house. Wasn't that a Star Trek episode? Didn't one of those episodes they got put in this zoo and it was just a house and they had to live and the people could go by and look at them and whatnot. They were in
was it Planet of the Apes? Yeah, they were essentially.
Planet of the Apes was that too.
Planet of the Apes was that too. Yeah,
I didn't see the new ones, but the original.
Yeah. I mean,
you haven't seen the new ones? Oh man, they are really actually pretty good.
Which new one? The ones with the Hobbit monkey. What's the guy's name?
Andy Serkis.
You know who I mean?
Yeah, man, they're all really good. They are really good. I really dig them.
Good.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, they are.
I just don't have.
Then again, I liked the one that was directed by Tim Burton. So
yeah, well, I did too.
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, I did too. It was a good one.
All right.
So, man, sister, thank you for joining us this morning.
Yeah, and we hope you come back.
I may not be a dad, but I could be an uncle.
It's all right.
Oh, okay. Hey, that's great. That's great, actually, because I was like, how do we have three guys on screen and still call it your two dads?
I can be the uncle, the crazy uncle.
Yeah, we have a guest. If he's not a dad, doesn't count.
I am a dad, but
you can be the uncle.
Stop ruining it. Okay.
All right. So do you have a dad joke for us today?
Heck yeah, I do.
Oh, sweet. All right.
I always do.
So if and Sinister Minister is one that comes and posts the dad jokes for JJ in the
he's gonna upstage us, Deacon.
I hope so. I don't even want to kind of. Okay, I'll go first. JJ, you go second, and we'll let Sinister Minister go
I
first.
think it's a good idea.
All right, JJ, I'm going to ask this one today. What is red and bad for your teeth?
I know.
I don't know.
Oh no, he knows. What
Go
is
ahead.
it?
Go ahead.
No, what is it?
A brick.
Oh yeah.
A brick.
It's
red and bad for your teeth.
All right.
Awesome. That's awesome.
I don't know about you guys, but I would not buy anything with Velcro.
Oh yeah.
It's a ripoff.
All right. I like that one. All right.
I tried to explain social media to my granny the other day.
Mhm.
She's still not following me.
Oh, hey, you should talk to Cindy. All right, thanks for watching the show, everybody. If you haven't already, hit like, subscribe. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 6:30, and we'll have our Sinister Minister guest again sometime soon. Stay tuned.
He's like, not tomorrow. I got to be.
Not tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Just soon. Bye, everybody.
We'll see you.